Training camp is officially started, and there's a couple of questions we got to look at. What is the pace of play going to be like? Who is going to shine throughout camp? That and more in this episode of Locked On Anaheim Ducks.
You're Locked On Ducks, your daily podcast on the Anaheim Ducks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome every day, or thanks for making Locked On Anaheim Ducks your first listen every day, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com and win $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. I'm Kyle Carr. I'm a lifelong Anaheim Ducks fan. I've spent multiple years covering collegiate sports, including college hockey. But as always on Anaheim, Locked On Ducks here, we're talking about the Anaheim Ducks. Got a little ahead of myself there. Excited that training camp is underway. It was so nice to finally officially be in the rink, even though I've been there a few times in the last week. Today was the official day with all of the skaters out on the ice. The orange and black groups did their thing. And unfortunately, there was a lack of Mason McTavish out on the ice today. That is right. As of this recording, McTavish is in Ottawa skating with the 67s and their camp. And Pat Verbeek stated that talks have been going well, but they aren't at the point of agreement yet. Excuse me, got a cough here. Sorry to all of the YouTube guys. That doesn't look fun. All right. Anyways, McTavish is out there in Ottawa. Pat Verbeek says things are going well, but they're just not at an agreement point yet. So he is disappointed that McTavish is not at camp, but both teams or both camps of the McTavish's camp and Pat Verbeek's camp are still battling it out in the contract negotiations. So now that a training camp is officially underway, I have 3 questions that I want to dive into in this episode. And that is, who is going to shine throughout the entire camp? Who is going to be that guy this camp? What will a successful preseason performance look like by this team? And the question I'm going to dive into here first, what will the pace of play and practice be like throughout camp? Well, seeing how practice went today for both the morning and afternoon session, it looks like this is going to be a lot of conditioning and really teaching them the new systems through quick pace, speed, and utilizing really the full ice. But everything was engaged with a sense of speed and purpose. And the only like in place, short, not a lot of skating drills involved a lot of physicality, checking each other out, bodying each other, and working the defensive angles and everything like that. So definitely looking at a fast camp. Obviously, day one, everyone's going to come out jazzed, buzzing, really trying to set the tone. So we'll see how things kind of develop as camp progresses. But as of today, it looked really quick, really fast. Guys were connecting really well on the different rushes and passes and different kind of drills that they were doing. One drill that I did notice that was kind of the overall focus of all of the drills was this quick back check and forecheck type mentality, really utilizing transitional play. They utilized it during the development camp and during the little rookie practice as well. And basically, they start with the guys on one end of the ice attacking, breaking out the puck, using their D to reload, and then reloading again, and then forechecking into the zone. Then they do a couple of tip plays, and then they have to back check all the way back and get into their positions where they would set up their system. And that's kind of where Coach Q is really getting involved and making sure guys are where he wants them to be when they do back check and have to go attack a puck in the corner. So utilizes all three zones of the ice with that drill, and the guys were getting it really well, and it was going fast. The pace was quick. Anytime that they were kind of moving slow, they got on them. They started jumping on them, really making sure that things were progressing and that there wasn't really a lag in the intensity or the speed throughout. Uh, Looking at the overall energy and kind of vibe of the team, definitely a lot of good things. I think that they're all smiling out there. It looked like Coach Q was really excited to be out on the ice. Jay Woodcroft was out there as well. They're the only two that I could easily recognize with all the shuffling and everything going on, but engaged with the players, setting the tone really quick and easy. Not a lot of time at the clipboard, which is always good. Just lays it out nice and quick and then sends them off to do the new drill. In between each drill, they'd have to go skate a couple laps. It looked like watching my son's team out there during one of their practices, but obviously a much faster and more intense pace. But to see all of these guys get really excited and get in the zone, and the competition level was insane. The drills that they had to do where they were going against, like, say, a one-on-one or any two-on-two drills, any type of battle drills, they were extremely physical. Gudis was out there rocking dudes. He went up against Ryan Pelling in a drill. I wasn't there to actually witness the drill in person, but this was a third-party account said that he was battling in the corner. They had to go up, throw the puck in the corner, and go get it. And Gudis just rocked Ryan Pelling, completely just picked his pocket and then sniped a nice turnaround shot and was playing really aggressive. All the guys were not afraid to lay the body and just kind of getting in it. And then watching the second group as well with more of the younger guys, they were all extremely physical. Connor Smith, of course, continuing his not antics, but just setting that level of physicality during the one-on-one drills and everything like that. I thought that Stolberg was playing extremely well and heads up as well. A lot of these younger guys were making their impressions known, and I didn't see anyone really struggling or lacking in any one situation so far. Uh, they all seem to be right at par with each other, and no one embarrassed themselves really. There wasn't like a crazy wipeout or collision or anything like that. It was pretty mellow. Uh, Beckett Seneca had a pretty nice showing. I would say it was not very standoutish in a sense, but he was there. He was battling hard. Definitely saw a couple F bombs being dropped after a couple drills, but that's to be expected when you're trying to really set the tone, and you want to. They're competitive guys. That's what's going to happen. Whoo, man, this weather and everything is killing me right now. Sorry about that. And so, looking at him, I thought there was room for improvement. I think that he could definitely be a little bit more stable and just kind of be a little bit more simple in the basics and just show how he can dominate without trying to be too fancy or anything like that. It seems like he wants to prove and be the guy and like dangle and do all these kind of nifty things, but he's getting frustrated because it's not working out for him rather than just being heads up and kind of using his speed and big frame to protect the puck more. And uh but he did have some sweet shots. So good overall performance by Seneca today for the first day of camp. Looking at some other guys that stood up, obviously Igor Sidorov up with the big club, trying to get his minutes going into things this year. Same with Tristan Leno. And the the overall concerns that I was having with like showing up and trying to do no stick drills and not really working on a faster pace system were completely wiped as soon as I walked in the door. They're skating around, they're moving fast. Everything was a quick pace. So, like I'm trying to get at here is that everything it looks like for this camp is going to be a tone of quick, fast, move your feet, and really continue to use the transitional type of hockey and not use a overall like trying to force plays. It looks like he's really trying to set on a hard, quick, physical pace that is going to really take over this team. And I think the guys that are on this roster right now are really going to buy into what is going on and how the new systems are going to be implemented. And I think we're going to be seeing a lot of progress here with this team. Now, what is a successful preseason going to look like? I'll give you kind of what this season, or even just a preseason game, what a successful one will look like coming up next. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love using FanDuel because it gets me engaged with the NFL games that are going on, all the baseball games. There's so many sports going on. Pretty much all of the major sports are in play right now. So go on FanDuel, find some stuff I want to pay attention to. It gets my attention and it's extremely fun. So are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting fanduel.com to get started. That's fanduel.com to place your first $5 bet. Now, with how fast and physical both practices were today, this is what I see the coaching staff considering a successful game and eventually a successful season. Adaptability to game scenarios is going to be a major focus, especially in the first couple of games. I think as long as the guys are implementing the systems and implementing what Coach Q wants from these guys and all of the special teams, coaches, and everything that is being pushed on these guys, as long as you're showing adaptability as a player and they're engaged and they're playing at a pace that is consistent with the rest of the team, they're gonna that's gonna be considered a successful game for that individual player. But in regards to the team, I think a major focus is going to be off puck speed. So players supporting the puck and whatever the puck carrier has it, extremely protecting and being supportive of that player, and then also making sure that you're in a place to quickly break out the puck and transition through to the next zone. That's going to be a huge factor for this training camp. And then that support that comes with that. I think watching the preseason or the little rookie training camp and watching these drills today, it's very important for these entries to, if it's you're entering into the offensive zone, really attacking towards the net and then having a third man high, creating the opening of the lanes and really spreading out the offense. It seemed to be a big factor in today's practice. And then also once back checking into the defensive zone to really be supporting the defenseman and being in the exact spot that you're supposed to be, just anticipating for the defenseman to break out up either to the center or the winger. All just the simple details is going to be a big factor for what this team is really looking for. Give me 1 second here. Okay. Goodness gracious. All this talking, everything is just not working out for me at this moment. So bear with me. I appreciate it. But going back into what a successful game is going to look like team wise, I think with that supporting of each other, There's also going to be an emphasis on the physical play and really being hungry for the puck after losing it. So either a giveaway, a turnover, or getting the puck stripped out. 50-50 pucks are going to be a huge, huge important aspect of what this coaching staff is going to be wanting this team to be really focusing on. I think there's going to be an overly aggressive approach. And at the beginning of the preseason, the first couple of games, I think the coaching staff's really going to be okay with not having the perfect scoring chances or generating the most offense or having elite goal scoring in those first couple of games. I think as long as they're in there, they're not forcing plays, they're back checking, they're playing physically hungry, and they're using the proper support in all zones. And then, of course, utilizing that support speed and the guys that are off the puck using that transitional speed to support every aspect of the play. I don't think they're going to be too concerned about the goal scoring, but as it progresses after a couple of games, I think you're going to see not only an uptick in scoring because there's going to be a more focus on that, but I think because guys are going to be adapting to what the coaching staff is looking for. Man, so now that that's kind of laid out. We got the battle plan, the overall focus of what's going on. You're going to see these guys come together. They're going to finally get the confidence and the understanding of the system that Quenneville's putting into place, and the confidence in that is going to come together, and that's where you're going to see an uptick in scoring. And also, you're going to see the coaching staff really focusing on correcting any errors that are leading to missed opportunities within the scoring um, area. I expect to have, I mean, the first preseason game always is a kind of question mark. It could be complete blowout one way or the other, or it could be a very tight, close game, low scoring, uh, guys kind of just feeling it out. So, not really sure on that first game what to expect, but I think you're gonna see some low scoring games in this preseason as things get tightened up. It could be kind of a Wild West open scenario for the first couple of games where maybe you're seeing, 4 or 5 game, 4 to 5 games, 5 to 6, or 6 to 7, who knows. But it's going to get tightened down. And I think you're going to see 2-1 games, 3-0, just that lower under 5 goals a game type situation. So that's where I think this preseason is going to go. I think that there's going to be a major focus at the beginning of really focusing on off this puck speed and obviously stick handling when you are the guy with it, utilizing that speed. But that off puck speed is what's going to transition into supporting and breaking out the puck quickly, getting it constantly in the other end of the ice. And when it does come back checking extremely hard and quick and creating that support so that you can transition back up as well and not forcing plays. I don't think they're looking for anything cute. I think it's all about simplicity and taking advantage of every moment that does come in front of you, but overall just using the simplistic basics that lead to success, and that's where the building blocks going to be established, and then building off of that towards the end of the preseason. And I think the Ducks opening day are going to be looking extremely well. But during this camp, who is going to be shining out? Who's going to be the guy that really just sticks out and is like, oh my, this is going to be a year for this guy? I'll tell you who it's going to be in a quick jiffy. More people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all in one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy to use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you put off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. With Monarch Money, everything is right there. It brought up so many things that I've never seen before and put it all in front of me so I could really get a full picture of what was going on with my spending and my assets, everything that was coming in. So don't let financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONNHL. With the focus being on adaptability, quick transitional hockey, and playing a physical yet mindful game, I see one player who is going to shine all training camp. And this this is it. This is the year for the one, the only Troy Terry. This is it. This is the time. Troy Terry is about to have a career year this year. I am feeling it. I'm putting it out there. I think this is going to be a whole new look Troy Terry with this new coaching staff and this new look, feel, taste, everything that is about the Ducks right now is all going Troy Terry's way. Watching practice today, like, it just it fits his style. I think after getting 55 points last year, it's time for Troy Terry to break into the 70s. I think it's happening. It's coming. Troy Terry, 70 plus points this year. Take those odds. I think it's happening. Watching practice, I'm telling you, seeing how Coach Quenneville's talking to these guys, the way he's emphasizing what is important, where he's focusing on when he's correcting guys, or where Jay Woodcroft was going around talking to guys, where he wanted them positionally, what he wanted them working on in between different runs. This is everything Troy Terry. It just screams Troy Terry at me. Like, it just works for him. I think he'll be absolutely thriving in this system. He stated after the press conference when Quenneville first got hired that he was extremely excited to work with Quenneville and get working into these new faster systems and just to really see what was going on. And you can kind of see that today. It was standing out. And he is the guy that plays perfectly in that fast, transitional, and responsible type hockey that I harped on it so much last season that it seemed like every single game, whether even though he didn't show up on the score sheet or not, he was everywhere. He was exactly where he needed to be when he needed to be there. He shuts everything down, does all the little things right. He gets in those little danger areas. He forechecks well, he backchecks well. He's just a overall just reads this game extremely well. And now I think exiting that whatever Cronin system that was and watching today with the breakouts, the transitionals, the forecheck, everything that was worked on today. I could literally list every single key name, buzzword of a practice because that's what they worked on today. But it just screamed a Troy Terry type play. I think you look at all of the highlight type reel plays that Troy has had, they look exactly like what was being worked on today in practice. There's a style that he has that will be extremely, extremely refined. I think it's going to get fine tuned. It's going to get nice and oiled up. It's going to just explode. Explosion of talent out of Troy Terry this year. We've already seen how well he can play. He's been a solid guy for the team for multiple years now. And this is going to be the resurgence. I'm not saying that he faded off at all. Obviously, you've seen a increase in points over the last couple of years, but I think this is going to be a rocket of a season for Troy Terry. And it's all starting from the energy that's coming into the room starting today. Just looking at how the guys responded to Coach Q, how they responded to the press after the practice today. I mean, Chris Kreider, he himself said that today was a culture setting practice and that it was about getting guys going. It seemed like it was a fun practice in that it was competitive and quick and it kept the guys entertained and engaged, and everyone was smiling throughout the entire building, whether it was player, coaching staff, media, the guy taking pictures for Instagram, my buddy Dan Batson. Everyone was smiling around that rink today. Absolutely loved it. And I think that's going to just resonate with a player like Troy Terry. I already talked about yesterday with Radko Gudas coming back and kind of setting the tone as the captain. He did that with his physicality. He was skating really well out there today. He's feeling 100% with his knee and his injuries. So he's back doing well. And now you got a guy like Troy Terry who just knows how to put his head down and do the right things. And that is what this type of engagement and coaching staff and system and everything that's being brought in by the new look Ducks is all about. Just doing the right things, doing the little things right, engaged in all the right moments. And Troy Terry's already got that covered. He's the guy. He is that 200-foot player that the Ducks can rely on, and he's going to be setting it up. And I think 70 points is absolutely a target that Troy Terry can hit. I don't see that out of the realm of possibility for him this year. And obviously we got to keep tabs on how training camp goes and how the preseason goes and everything like that. But I expect an explosion out of him. I think you're going to be seeing him standing out throughout training camp, throughout the preseason. He's going to be one of those guys kind of sneakily entering the scoring sheet every single game, and it's going to be building up as we go along. And just take my word for it. You don't have to ask anyone else. Don't talk to anyone else. Don't look at anything else. Just listen to me. It's fine. I got you. Troy Terry, he's your guy. 70 plus. If there's an over under that is at 70 or below 70, take that over because it's coming for Troy Terry. Take it. Go to FanDuel. Look it up right now. Take those odds because Troy Terry is going to launch off. He's going to be the star of training camp, and he's going to be one of the most reliable players on this team next year, as he's been throughout this season. But he is going to set an impression that is putting the league on notice. I think he's one of the most underrated wingers out there, and this is the year for him to really set his name into the record books or the anthologies or whatever it is. Maybe he'll get himself an NHL cover album or something, but I think that he's going to explode. So keep an eye out on Troy Terry, and thank you for making Locked On Anaheim Ducks your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the Locked On NHL podcast. There is no offseason, bringing you the daily league-wide stories that matter most with the local coverage you love from Locked On. Find Locked On NHL on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Go like and subscribe to Locked On Ducks on YouTube as well. And as always, I'm Kyle Carr. Be good out there.